In an earlier episode on performance management and appraisal, I talked about one of the biggest problems that companies face when they try to rate employees, which of course is the most common way of assigning some kind of value to employees. But there's something that's even worse, and that is ranking of employees. You may have heard about the Jack Welch technique, which is often been called rank and yank, which means that you rate employees and you rank them, and then you basically fire the bottom 20%. Now, that's statistically and logically something that doesn't work past the first year or two, but many companies still do the ranking thing. And I'm going to tell you why this is not only stupid, but it's harmful. Okay, so if your company is ranking employees, you might want to forward this to the people who make decisions, because ranking employees is one of the stupidest things that companies can do. It doesn't work, it creates all kinds of problems, and it can have a negative impact on the productivity of staff, never mind the sense of employee engagement that we all seem to want these days. Okay, number one, when you rank employees, you lose information. Okay, so what happens is that the difference between someone that you rank as 80th and someone you rank as 20 could be minimal. And if you take sales figures as an example, which is the simplest kind of thing, the difference between your top performers and your bottom performers can be very small. So what happens is, if you start to make decisions on that basis, you may end up rewarding people for only minimal success relative to their peers, and that really pisses people off. So for example, if you have a bunch of people and they're all in sales and they're all making, let's say, $24,000, $25,000 a year in sales, I know that's not very much, okay, and the difference between the top and the bottom is only a few $1,000s, but you rank employees, the ones at the bottom are going to seem really lousy. And in fact, if you decide to get rid of those people, the chances are that you may hire people that are even worse. So it doesn't really work very well. Okay, and that problem basically is that when you rank employees, you are putting them into sort of categories, and you're losing way too much information to make informed decisions. Okay, but that's not even the biggest problem with ranking employees. Think about it this way. Okay, there are two ways to rank highly relative to peers. Okay, you can do better. So for example, if you're a salesperson, you can boost your sales by 50% or 100%. And if that's more than your peers, you're going to be ranked at the top. Right? Makes perfect sense. That's the kind of thing we kind of want. Okay? But here's the problem, and it's called unintended consequences. The law of unintended consequences. The second way you can succeed in terms of being ranked is that you can make sure that the people that you are competing with in the rankings do less well. So what we are doing is that, for example, if I'm a salesperson, if I can sabotage you as my competitor in the rankings, then I'm going to do better. And that's not a good thing. Also, these days, nobody works as an island. Okay? So teamwork is very, very important. So when you start ranking on the basis of something like sales figures, you're not taking into account other things. For example, the person who helps other team members do well. Okay? So what you are doing with rankings is you are providing a disincentive for employees to help their colleagues, because you've got them competing against each other. It makes absolutely no sense. So some of the sabotage things that you can see in these situations, especially when there's money attached to the rankings, are hoarding of resources so that other employees can't access them easily. Withholding of information, which is a big thing. For example, in sales and in leads. So I'm going to keep them to myself if I'm going to be competing with you as my colleague. Okay. Again, it reduces teamwork. And it creates a situation of very self-centered serving actions. Okay, so this is a law of unintended consequences. If you're going to reward people for succeeding, but also making sure that their colleagues don't succeed, then you're going to get a lot of strange stuff. And overall, as Deming said, you're going to be sub-optimizing the system. Okay, so that's a huge problem. Okay, there is no reason to rank employees, and there is even worse reason to use rankings to make decisions. There's probably another 10 or 15 reasons why rankings are really, really a bad idea overall for companies if they want to improve their bottom line. Okay, I'm Robert Pakal, and I'm the author of a number of books on performance management. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.